There is a phrase I heard recently in my therapy room that kept echoing inside me. She simply said, "I wasn't ready for this." As she spoke, I thought about how many times all of us have said that same phrase, even if only in silence. Because there is a very common illusion. We believe we will be ready when life happens, but life almost never gives us a warning. No one is truly ready to lose someone they love, to hear an unexpected diagnosis, to face a divorce, to watch their children leave home, to lose a job, to watch their parents age, to discover that life took a completely different direction from the one they had imagined. And curiously, we are also not ready for some good things, for a great love, for a child, for a dream that comes true, for an opportunity that completely changes our story. Maybe because life doesn't happen when we are ready, it happens when it happens, and we become capable of crossing it as we walk through it. There is a silent belief that causes many people to suffer, the idea that if they were stronger, more mature, or smarter, they would suffer less. But that is not true. Suffering in face of an important change does not mean weakness, it means humanity. Maybe the problem was never about not being ready. Maybe the problem is believing that we should have been. In psychology, we learn that suffering doesn't only come from what happens, it also comes from the distance between the life we expected to live and the life that actually arrived. The greater that distance, the greater the impact tends to be. But there is something that life itself teaches us. We rarely discover our strength before the crossing. We discover it during it. Look at your own story. How many situations seemed impossible when they arrived, and yet you found a way to keep going? Not because you were invincible, but because human beings have an extraordinary capacity to adapt, learn, and rebuild meaning. Maybe that is why so many people, years after a great pain, are able to look back and say, "I never imagined I would survive that." Not because the pain was small, but because they discovered resources within themselves that they had. Today, I would like to leave a question with you. Is there a situation in your life that you are still judging yourself for because you believe you should have been ready for it? Maybe it's time to replace that question with another one. Instead of asking, "Why wasn't I ready?" ask, "What did this experience invite me to develop that I might never have discovered any other way?" We don't choose everything that happens to us, but we can choose the meaning we will build from those experiences. And maybe growing is not reaching the point where nothing surprises us anymore. Maybe growing is trusting that even when life finds us unprepared, we are capable of learning a new way to walk. Because courage is not born when fear disappears, it's born when, even without all the answers, we decide to take the next step. Life does not wait for us to be ready, it simply invites us every day to become a little more capable of walking. I want to leave something with you before we finish. Not being ready is not a flaw of yours, it is the human condition. Psychology shows us that resilience is not a trait that some people have and others don't. It is a capacity that develops precisely through contact with what we did not choose. You didn't need to be ready, you only needed to keep going. And if you are here watching this video, you have already proven that you can. Tell us in the comments, what was the situation in your life where you discovered a strength you didn't know you had? Share this with someone who is in the middle of a difficult crossing right now. Subscribe to Ties That Hurt for more reflections on relationships, self-esteem, identity, and emotional healing.